Hey, good morning, Jack. We're about 15 minutes into our conference time, and I haven't seen you pop up yet in the waiting room for my online office. So I'm just going to record a little bit of feedback for you here. So one thing to work on for sure is increasing the number of in-text citations. So the rule of thumb here is anything that you didn't know before you started researching, or even if you kind of think you knew it, but you needed the source to confirm it for you, that needs a citation. So just as I look through this, I'm seeing this about 1979 and Craig McTavish. Um, I know that you know a lot about hockey, so I don't mean to insult what you may know, but if this is something that you did have to confirm, that he was in fact the last person to skate with the helmet, like during this particular season, that all needs a citation. So there is a video. It was part of your instructional video consumption actually for last week. So this would be in week 6, September 21st through 25th. I'm directing you specifically to in-text citations. It's 3 minutes, 35 seconds. I'm not going to lie, the speaker has an annoying voice and it's clearly not a sexy video, but it tells you exactly what you need to know to cite sources. So I'm going to really encourage you to work on adding in some citations, and I think that video will help you do that. Of course, our University Writing Center would help you do that as well. I do see where you're trying to do this, and I really appreciate it. It's not quite right yet. Like in this case, it would be the author's last name and it would be the date, but since you're actually quoting, you do need a page or a paragraph number there as well. Just one small thing in your writing that I would like to point out. A lot of your sentences are starting with words and, but so it's fine to start some sentences with these words, but the frequency with which you are makes the paper feel sort of stream of consciousness. And that's totally normal for a rough draft, but as you edit, maybe you could go back through. I think that you'll see as you read through this that all of these sentences, would work probably just as well without those conjunctions, those words that you're using for transitions. I saw that in your questions for me, you were wanting to know what else that you could add and write about. And a third goal that I would set for you is developing your ideas a little bit more. So just sort of thinking about this and reacting to it as a reader, and also thinking about like a thesis. One thing that you might want to emphasize is that there has been a clear shift in mindset regarding protective gear. I remember one of your earlier sources even quoting a coach saying, "Oh, I know, but the ladies want to see the faces of the men." It just such a radical shift in how we think about concussions. And you're right, like over the past 40, 50 years, and how as a result of that, we have all of these new technologies. So as concussions have come more into the public eye, as we understand more about them, as we grow more concerned about them, then we also have businesses responding with new equipment. And this might, maybe you're just thinking about this in terms of the sport of hockey. So if I go back into the paper, one thing that I see going on right here, especially with this rule in 79 and then how some people were grandfathered into it, and others obviously were not. To me, it seems like there would have been a lot of tension. And so as a reader, I'm wondering, what was the conversation like during this time? Is this when that coach was talking? Was that coach talking before 1979? How did these older players feel about the helmets? How did younger players feel about having to wear them? When there clearly are like two rules on the table. I think that there's a lot more that you could do early on just to talk about how this rule came to be, how people responded to it, and how it started to shift the conversation as we talk about concussions. This first sentence, this is a small thing. This almost makes it seem as if concussions are a thing of the past, when in fact I would say probably they're more and more a thing of the present. Not that they weren't happening before, because of course, we know that they were, but we didn't know as much about them. We didn't know as much about their effects. We didn't know as much about how to identify when one had occurred, and then what a player needed to go through in order to heal, and how that might limit their play in the future. So I think there's a little more you could do here, just in terms of, again, like how the concussion is becoming more a part of the public conversation, how that fits with more and more hockey players wearing helmets, and I guess how the sport is responding and continues to respond to the public concern around CTE and other forms of traumatic brain injury. And then, from there, this question doesn't necessarily talk about what's in the paragraph that follows. I don't know if that was your intention, but this paragraph seems to be mostly about how helmets are evolving in response to public concern. I think that you could elaborate more on this. There probably are more than just two styles of helmet, which is maybe I just am not understanding, but that's what I sort of read here. I'm sure there's a lot more going on with helmet technology that you could go into, quotes that you could get from athletic trainers, from companies themselves about their products. And then something that you mentioned twice in your paper, and I'm not even sure where you should highlight this, but I would like to know more about this idea that athletes are growing bigger and faster and stronger. To me, that's something that you could develop more, as it seems to, play into why concussions are so prevalent in hockey. There's of course the nature of the game, and then there's the history of the fighting as like spectacle, but then there's also this, like, just actual physiological changes that are occurring in human beings with probably because of genetically modified foods, as well as because of enhanced diets and better nutrition. And so, how does that fit into all of this as well? So I do see a lot of places where you have started with ideas in this, and you could just develop them more. I suppose you could include a paragraph on the effects of concussions. As your reader, I feel like I know a fair bit about that, just again, because concussions are more and more in the public spotlight, but I suppose you could always showcase one particular hockey player who maybe experienced all of the like the emotional turmoil that comes with the concussions, maybe even someone who committed suicide, and in autopsy that's been traced back to concussion and specifically to playing hockey. I don't know, but maybe that's something to think about. So A 10-minute video, hopefully this is helpful. If you would like to schedule in for another conference, I'm open to that, but I do want to prioritize, since you did have a time slot that maybe someone else could have used, I would like to wait until I have conference with everyone else. So I'm going to send this to you, encourage you to watch this one video in particular on in-text citations, encourage you to use the University Writing Center, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for your time, Jack.